You've been lied to. They told you that some people are just naturally social, that you're either born charismatic or cursed to be awkward, that if you don't love crowds, small talk, and spotlight moments, you must be an introvert, quiet, shy, awkward. That's your identity now. But what if I told you that what you call introversion isn't your personality? It's your programming. Let's go deeper. From childhood, you were taught to sit still, to be polite, to not talk to strangers. You learn quickly that your social instincts, your boldness, your curiosity, your need to connect were dangerous, unwelcome. You were trained to blend in, to speak only when spoken to avoid attention. And that training became your normal. So now when you walk into a room, your body tightens, not because you're broken, but because your nervous system is doing exactly what it was trained to do, protect you from social risk. This isn't shyness. This is a neurobiological habit. And like any habit, it can be unlearned. The truth is, social mastery is not a talent. It's a skill. And like any skill, it's built through reps, through exposure, through rewiring. You weren't born awkward. You were conditioned to fear expression. And the fear isn't even yours. It's inherited. From parents, from schools, from experiences where being bold got punished, or laughed at, or ignored. But here's what no one told you. You can retrain your social self, because under the hesitation, under the tension, under the doubt, there's a version of you that knows how to connect, how to own your voice, how to be magnetic. Let's start there. The myth of the introvert. Labels can be helpful, but only when they're used with precision. Introvert is not a curse. It just means your brain is more sensitive to stimulation. It means you recharge alone. That's it. But the world took that label and turned it into a cage. I can't do small talk. I'm not good with people. I just keep to myself. And every time you repeat that story, you reinforce it. But here's what the science says. Even the most introverted people can learn social confidence. Even if you feel drained in crowds, you can still lead one. Even if you need more recovery time, you can still own your space. It's not about being loud. It's about being clear. Not about being the center of attention, but being comfortable when you are. Social mastery isn't about changing who you are. It's about releasing who you're not. The real reason you struggle in social situations. Let's break it down. When you walk into a room, your body is scanning for danger. Your nervous system is asking, will I be judged? Will I be rejected? Will I say something stupid? This is called social threat detection. It's primal. It's real. It happens before you say a word. Your heart rate increases. Your breathing shortens. Your mind races. And you think it's you, but it's just untrained wiring. You've practiced avoidance for so long, your brain now believes that social interaction is dangerous. So what do? We rewire it. You don't beat social anxiety by thinking your way out. You beat it by training your body to stay calm in the tension. Start small. Breathe slower. Make eye contact for half a second longer. Say hello to a stranger with zero expectations. It's not about being slick. It's about being present. Confidence doesn't come from knowing what to say. It comes from being okay when you don't. Why some people seem naturally magnetic. Ever wonder why some people can walk into a room and instantly become the center of gravity? It's not because they're better looking, or smarter, or louder. It's because they're not in defense mode. Their nervous system isn't scanning for rejection. It's open to connection. They're not performing. They're radiating. And here's the kicker. They weren't born like that. They practiced it. They got comfortable with silence. They got okay with awkwardness. They stopped editing every word before they spoke. And over time, that inner freedom became outer magnetism. You can have that. The shift begins here. From today, stop calling yourself socially awkward. That's not who you are. That's a phase of your training. That's a moment in your evolution. You're not shy. You're awakening. You are not broken. You're underconditioned. And starting now, you're going to build the new you. One rep at a time, one conversation at a time, one brave moment at a time. You've spent most of your life being trained not to express, but to perform. Think about it. You weren't taught how to connect. You were taught how to impress. You memorized answers, smiled on cue, and learned the right things to say. But that version of social was fake. It was an act. And deep down, you knew it. That's why your body revolts every time you're about to speak up. Because what you've labeled as awkwardness is often just the collision between your real self and your edited self. The tension you feel, that's not weakness. That's your soul fighting the script. And the more you override it, the worse it gets. You stop trusting your instincts. You overthink every sentence. You rehearse conversations before they happen. And afterward, you replay them, analyzing every detail like it's life or death. This is not social anxiety. This is self-abandonment. But the cure is not confidence. The cure is congruence. When what you say matches what you feel, your nervous system calms. When you stop trying to impress and just express, you shift from performance to presence. And that's where your power lives, because presence is rare, and people feel it immediately. It's not about volume. It's about vibration. It's not about the perfect joke. It's about the truth in your voice. And truth is magnetic. You want to be unforgettable in social settings? Don't say what you think they want to hear. Say what you actually mean, not with arrogance, but with clarity. Not to provoke, but to connect. Because real connection doesn't come from impressing people. It comes from being a mirror showing up so fully that you give them permission to do the same. And most people have never experienced that. They're starving for it. So be that person. Be the safe space. Be the one who listens without waiting to speak. Be the one who makes eye contact without pressure. Be the one who doesn't flinch in silence. And here's the paradox. The less you try to be interesting, the more interesting you become. You're not here to be liked by everyone. You're here to be authentic to yourself. And that authenticity will repel the wrong people, but it will pull the right ones in like gravity. This is social mastery. Not a toolbox of tricks, but an unapologetic return to self. Now let's get practical. Start scanning the room not for danger, but for energy. Who's open? Who's closed off? Who's alive? Who's disconnected? Start seeing people as patterns, not puzzles. It's not personal, it's energetic. You walk in, you take a breath, you slow your body. You anchor yourself. You enter the room like you own your nervous system. That's real power. That's real safety. That's what people feel long before they hear your words. And when you speak like someone who has nothing to prove, someone who's already enough, someone who knows silence is a weapon, not a weakness. You don't need to be slick. You need to be solid. Let them talk faster. You talk slower. Let them seek approval. You seek truth. Because at the core of social mastery is this. You are not here to perform. You are here to transform every space you enter. And that starts with transforming the way you see yourself. Here's the part most people miss about social skills. Your social code was not chosen. It was downloaded. From the age of 12 to 21, your brain is in a unique developmental phase called the identity formation window. During that time, your neural circuits are on fire. You're copying, mimicking, absorbing constantly. Your brain is wired for social learning. You don't even realize it. You think you're being yourself, but you're just being what your environment modeled for you. And here's the kicker. You don't filter very well at that age. Between 12 and 21, your system isn't asking, is this useful? It's asking, does this help me survive socially? So you copy mannerisms, humor, posture, beliefs, style, even tone of voice. You shapeshift 1,000 times, hoping one of those versions gets accepted, and whatever works, you keep. But here's the trap. Just because it worked then doesn't mean it's helping you now. You may still be running code that was built in a high school lunchroom. You may still be avoiding eye contact because someone once mocked you. You may still be quiet in groups because you got labeled weird when you tried to speak your mind. But you're not that kid anymore. And this isn't high school. You're an adult now, and it's time to upgrade the code. Your social instincts aren't broken, they're just outdated. And if you want to influence, to connect deeply, to walk into any room with calm power, you need to do one thing first. Audit your programming. Start asking, whose voice is this in my head when I hesitate? Whose fear am I carrying when I shrink? Whose shame am I acting out when I second-guess myself? The moment you name it, it starts to lose its grip, and then you replace it. Not with some fake alpha energy, not with a script, with truth. You retrain your nervous system through exposure with intention. You stop avoiding situations that make you sweat. You start leaning into them, not to impress others, but to show yourself what you're made of. This is how social mastery begins, not with tactics, but with unlearning the fear that's been riding in your body for a decade. And the most underrated truth, most people in social settings are not confident. They're performing confidence. They're anxious, scared, overcompensating. And when you realize that, the game shifts. You stop trying to win the room. You start tuning into it. You start listening more than speaking. You stop seeking approval and start reading energy. Because social mastery isn't about dominating others. It's about mastering your own frequency. When your vibe is clear, others feel it instantly. People feel safe, drawn, open. But when your vibe is uncertain, others get confused, tense, guarded. And that's why influence isn't about what you say, it's about what they feel when you say it. Want to be listened to? Train your nervous system. Want to be respected? Anchor your presence. Want to influence without effort? Learn to lead emotional tone. Most people mirror the strongest energy in the room. Make sure that energy is you. Speak slowly, not to sound cool, but to slow their nervous system. Pause, not for effect, but to create space for weight. Hold eye contact, not to assert power, but to remind them they're seen. This is deeper than charisma. This is nervous system leadership. And once you step into that, you don't just connect, you influence. Here's what most people never understand. The final stage of social mastery isn't about charisma. It's about spiritual clarity. It's when your inner voice becomes louder than their opinions, when your energy speaks before your mouth ever opens, when your stillness hits harder than someone else's performance. Because people don't remember what you said. They remember what shifted in them when you walked in. This is the energy you were meant to live with. But you were programmed to fear it. They taught you to minimize, to self-monitor, to play it safe. They told you to avoid being too much, and in doing so, they clipped your wings before you learned to fly. But underneath all that fear is the real you. And once you stop chasing approval, once you stop twisting yourself into someone they'll like, you become unignorable. Because here's the truth. Everyone is wearing a mask. Everyone is pretending just a little. But when you show up maskless, clear, grounded, unshaken, you disrupt the game. People feel it, and it makes them pause. Because authenticity is rare, it's jarring, and it cuts through social noise like a sword. You want to be unforgettable? Don't try harder. Just be more real than anyone else they've met that day. Be the person who says the uncomfortable truth calmly. Be the one who stays relaxed when the energy spikes. Be the one who doesn't chase laughter or agreement. Be the one who listens like it matters. That's what creates gravitational pull. Because in a world of filtered, anxious noise, calm truth is shockingly attractive. People don't follow the loudest voice. They follow the clearest frequency. So, here's your challenge. When you walk into the next room, don't try to be liked. Try to be real. When you speak next, don't try to say something smart. Say something true. When you engage someone, don't try to win them. Try to see them. And everything changes. Because the final secret is this. You don't become socially powerful by learning tricks. You become powerful by being unshakably yourself in public. And the person who can stand fully exposed and still calm, still steady, still present, is the most magnetic force in any room. You don't need to say, subscribe, because when someone feels seen for the first time, they don't forget you. You become the one they replay, the one they quote, the one they follow without needing to be asked. That's not strategy. That's presence. And presence is unforgettable. This is the art. This is the science. This is the freedom. This is who you were before they told you to dim your light. Welcome back.